minutes.
Called Mr. Ages. Just a quick announcement, if any of the graduating parents are still here, if you can stick around in this room after we finish, along with the staff, we'll stay in this room and have a quick chat. I'm going to have to kick all the students out, so sorry.
This is not going live.
The UK/New Zealand through her colourful and spectacular mastery projects. Please welcome Lily Wang.
That content, okay, we're good. The song is a folk-inspired song, and it's from my 3-song portfolio that I did as part of my mastery project. It's called For the Good in Life, and I pride myself on it being the only positive song I've ever written. So I hope you feel positively towards it. I'm gonna have it like my parents, have it like my nana. Did it, I can do it just right. I wanna love like the Moody's, tell it like the ballads, sing it up alright. Why can't we be anything that we want to be? Why can't we be anything that we want to be? So I'm gonna love with my arms out wide, with my eyes on fire, truly alive. I'm gonna smile until it hurts my cheeks, until my arms get weak just to feel inside. And they said, why do you have to run so far away from us? I said, I've got to love what I lose, so I can try and be half as good as you. So I'll be sure to keep my chin held high, make my words stay nice to give a fight. I might be shy, but I'll open up for the chance of love and for the good in life. So that's how I'll have it like my parents, have it like my nana. Did it, I can do it just right. I might be shy, but I'll open up for the chance of love and for the good in life. My project is Song Science, where it aims to find the overlap between science and songwriting in order to make me, myself, a better songwriter, but also to make more music that holds more meaning and evokes more emotion. So I tried to do that with my driving question: how can I best evoke emotion in listeners with my original songwriting? And this is my physical outcome: a 3-song portfolio and a dissertation. My 3-song portfolio focuses on 3 different genres in order to challenge myself musically and take me out of the confines of my musical comfort zone, as well as my dissertation, where this was just the medium in which I wanted to use. I was wanting to use the dissertation to basically just back up everything I did, using all the research I did, in order to prove to people that science can help in making songs more emotional and more meaningful. So I used a couple of different concepts that are particularly present in these 2 songs I'm performing today, but I'm going to go through 2 of them with you today, just for timing reasons. So, musical expectancy. Have you ever been in a store, you hear a song through the store and you think, this is not my cup of tea. You dismiss it and move on. Then the next day you hear it on the radio and you think, hey, I actually kind of like this a bit more now. So there are a lot of things that contribute to this process, but potentially one of them is musical expectancy. Musical expectancy is simply derived from repetition and from being familiar with musical changes. So potentially I listen to a lot of folk music and I know that the singer is going to start singing this way. If my brain can start predicting the certain things that are happening in music and the certain changes, then I can get small bursts of oxytocin, serotonin, and a decrease in the stress hormone cortisol. So that's pretty cool. So that's what I tried to do in that song by repeating the chorus over and over, so that you don't have to listen to my song twice in order to like it. You can hopefully just listen to it once. The next one is emotional balance, and this can be simply put as a narrative. So it's about kind of just writing, but in a song. So it's about having one emotion and shifting it quite obviously, quite quickly into a new emotion in order to create a subconscious shift in the listener. So in my song, I tried to, in the first verse, talk about feelings of longing, maybe uncertainty, maybe desperation, and by the third verse, I really wanted to get across the emotions of resilience, determination, and positivity, and so that creates like a subconscious shift, and it alerts the listener to what's going on, so that they can not only understand the song, but they can also potentially empathize with the song. So those are 2 of the things, and there are many more, so feel free to come and ask me later. I'm going to do another song now. once I say it, will it be real in the world? I'd rather lose you than find it in me. Always be right here, right under your nose, no matter where we've been or where we go. Thank you. Next up we have Lillian, Shay, Ang, and Jane, who are going to present us the surreal work they did in their virtual reality module.
I am Ing from Thailand.
I'm Lillian, and I'm from the United States.
I'm Jana from Ukraine.
And I'm Shay from New Zealand.
So, virtual reality. The world is constantly changing, and the technology is advancing. And over our return in Japan, we were looking at a completely new technology, which is called virtual reality. And we were looking at the ways how we could use it in the 21st century to improve our quality of life, our education, and basically our everyday habits.
So throughout Japan, we had the incredible chance to learn about what Jane just spoke about, and how to create engaging VR experiences. These were about different topics. Our final product was a mini module which we created for other students, ranging from the end of primary school to high school. These were about different topics which we chose was using VR as the main form of education. Examples of the subjects which we used were science, literature, humanities, and more. These modules utilize VR as a main teaching platform, giving students an engaging and immersive way to learn. This is one of the main benefits of virtual reality for the future. When done well, experiences can be more immersive than any other form of media.
So during our time in Japan, me, my partner, and I created a curriculum and lesson plan looking at creating virtual reality experiences surrounding the topic of Japanese history. So what you can see right now on the screen is inside a three-dimensional space on a platform called a VR Canvas, which is inside the Oculus Go. So this is how we created one of our experiences, which is basically where the student can put on the headset and walk into the Azuki Castle being built around them. So this not only creates a sense of engagement and excitement in the students, but it also creates something that's interactive and fun. So another one of our experiences that we created was we made a samurai sword. So the samurai sword was created as an augmented reality sword on a platform called Blender and then also Unity. And it allows the student to be able to access it on any mobile device through an app that we created. And twist and turn and walk around the samurai sword and see this and learn about history.
Tom, Monica, and I worked on an educational experience, which was basically we were basically discovering the connection between the Japanese culture and the writing of haikus. We looked at anthropology and at philosophy. We created 3 educational experiences, which were Japanese customs and the writing of haikus, Zen Buddhist in the writing of haikus, and Kintsugi in the writing of haikus. The three experiences were basically interdisciplinary, so we combined different subjects, such as philosophy, anthropology, history, and literature, in just one big experience. And students had an opportunity to learn more from just one film.
So following Japan, I wanted to take virtual reality a little bit. So I decided I wanted to create an experience fully on a computer instead of using a camera like we did inside of the module. So I met up with my friend Ryan at home, who does 3D design and sells it on the internet and has been doing so for 3 years. And we combined my knowledge of how virtual reality works and his knowledge of how 3D design works to create the final product that we did. So we wanted to make something that promoted one of the Sustainable Development Goals from the United Nations. We ended up choosing the Sustainable Development Goal 13, climate action. So the final product that we did, me and Ryan modeled an entire low-poly galaxy with all of the planets in it and showed the user or viewer of the experience the effects of climate change on Earth through the experience. I then got to present this in Germany at a United Nations conference, the Festival of Action, and got a lot of positive feedback on it.
So in conclusion, virtual reality is not just a new emerging technology. Virtual reality is a technology that is ready to change the world. As this technology developed, it is slowly becoming one of the most powerful technology we have. It has the power to take people from one place to another and immerse them in the surrounding they have never even imagined before. It is the most immersive media and allows for a much more engaging environment than just watching a regular television. For education, like our modules to educate students about a particular subject, for positive change, like Shay's personal project, and like most things, there's a negative side to it. But as a whole, it opens up a whole new world of opportunities for future education and so much more.
Thank you guys, that was really sweet, how innovative technologies. So as you guys have all seen how Lily Y conveyed how science has so much, music has so much power. So what about writing and words? What do they have? Well, I'll come and leave that question to be answered by our writer, a talented writer from CN1, Ava Plocommand. Disaster piece.
So my name is Ava, and this past year I've been working on my short story collection, Disaster Piece. It's a real printed book with pages and everything. And in case it doesn't connect, it's a disaster piece like masterpiece, but this isn't my masterpiece because I'm going to keep writing, so it's somewhat of a stepping stone. So, an introduction to me as a writer, what I try to do in everything that I write is think about what I find strange about the world, and then manipulate the reality within my stories to make it also seem a little bit weird to you. And so throughout this project, with that same philosophy, I wrote 6 short stories and 12 vignettes. Vignettes are like microfiction. They're like around 200, 300 words, the way that I write them. And they're just focused on like one specific image, one specific story. And then I also wrote a critical introduction, which is like me writing the first piece of scholarship about me. So it's interesting. And so I'm going to read from some of my vignettes. So I hope you enjoy. Peru, 2016. It doesn't make sense. I like things that make sense. A glacier that glows doesn't make sense, but I swear I was standing in the valley and I saw it. I had just let my bag off my shoulders and was looking around instead of looking down, the hiker's gaze. First I saw the mountain that was tomorrow's journey. I ignored it and told myself it looked taller in the dark. Then I saw the glacier. It was between two peaks and spilled forward a bit before melting. It was glowing in the night, a gentle blue-green color. It was as if someone had taken a million glow-in-the-dark stars from my ceiling and put them on top of a mountain in the middle of nowhere. I remember asking someone, "Hey, isn't that algae or something making it glow like that?" I had to point it out to get a response. A shrug. I guess. They turned around and went back to pitching tents. I took one last look before zipping out the night. I never saw it glow again. San Francisco, 2016. It's impossible to get on an elevator without staring at the gap between the door and the floor. It's perfectly phone-sized, and glancing at it is enough to make me grip mine tighter in my jacket pocket. As I step in, one foot in the elevator, I'm thinking about what would happen if the cable snapped. Would the sound of it make me recoil in shock and pull back just in time, or would I trip forward into the chamber as it fell? If I did that, would I be able to get all of me inside, or would it drop so fast that I would leave part of my leg on the third floor? When it hit the bottom floor, the one with the laundry machines, would I float and then hit the floor once, or would I bounce? Would it be better to fall on my back, my face, or my side? Could I jump right at the very end and avoid the impact? Am I smart enough to do that? Would the hotel hear the thud, or would the sounds of the city cover it up? Would people dismiss the sound as that of an old building? Would the only person to notice be a guest zoning out while staring at the elevator door who saw the flash of a shadow moving too quick? As I passed the threshold entirely, going to the back of the elevator and turning to face the door, I noticed the walls. Covered in graffiti, it is evidence of a million people getting in the elevator and surviving. I decided that I would probably survive. Canada, 2017. Having to put your snowshoes on to hike up to the bathroom makes you appreciate the city apartment with 2.5 bathrooms. You think that there are 3, but according to everyone else, there are 2.5. You act out in your head how you would argue that you have 3 bathrooms to someone because you're trying not to think about your freezing cold, nearly numb toes. Stop, you're doing it again. Your friend is quite far away from you, but you can hear her. Up here, she isn't competing with cars and appliances. You turn around at her request and inspect the trees. They haven't moved. There is no wind. Don't think about your toes. Looking at her again, you're pretty sure that was a prank because there's nothing behind you to see. No, she shakes her head and yells something about the view. That's it. She wants you to appreciate the view and not look at every mountain like you have to walk up it. You try to see it from her perspective, out of curiosity. The snowy peaks against the sunset sky look like a laptop background. Or even worse, a motivational poster. You hike back down the bathroom hill, snowshoe clumsy. Are my toes supposed to be this numb? She nods. So much for the mountains. It's too early, alright. Oman, 2018. We learned how to find our way using the fingers and the moon. We learned the wind pushes the dunes into nature's compass. We learned how to use a GPS to find our direction. Because we could not see the screen of the sun, we learned how to find 2 points on the horizon and navigate with the spot between them. We were heading east, leading the dunes face first. In the morning, we would move towards the sun, and in the afternoon, we would run away from it. There was never a doubt. We knew exactly where we were going. We knew that we were putting one foot in front of the other in the same direction for hours. We knew to move our mats to the rhythm of the sun and the shade when resting. We knew we risked sunburn and rash and heat stroke and hot spots. We faced scorpions, camels, quicksand, dehydration, and exhaustion. We always knew where we were going, what we were doing, and why it must be done. The certainty was bliss. We were sure we could make it to the end. There was no doubt, only desert. Costa Rica, 2019. The sheet slipped off the corner again. This time it was that the sheets were just too wide for the bed. Last week it was that they were too small in every sense. Costa Rica people know. Sleeping on the mattress itself seems like an invitation for bed scorpions and sheet spiders. You let the darkness take your blankets. The edges of your hand aren't there anymore. You are made of the same stuff as the noises and the wind. You think you can see insects in the corner and animals beyond the screen, but they are too smart for that. The whole bed is swinging from one corner and a top sheet and a quilt held together by static. The wind blows the curtain gently against your leg and likes how you pull your leg back like you had really gotten hurt. It rises nearly horizontal, and the plants outside try reaching for you too. The bathroom ceiling is plastic, and the palm tree sounds like it's trying to break and enter and wreck. Surely then, the footfalls in the gravel outside must be the wind too. You tug the sheet roughly back over the bed. The rules are different here, and you know the covers won't protect you from the dark. It won't help to keep your limbs inside or to hide your face. The nighttime thinks you are a coward and won't bargain with you at all. It's hot, so you lay on top of the covers, waiting for the band to give you attention. You watch the shadow puppet trees on your wall and wait for sleep to find you. You just hope that this time you can keep sleep's interest a little longer before it tosses you back up again. Thank you.
Hi. And to spice this symposium just a little bit more, we have some personal project that tuk-tuk all the way here from India. Please give a warm welcome to Marifer and Monica.
Is working? Okay, cool. Okay, so for our India trip, the CO2 students went to a lot of places in India just to get the experience of every different culture that developed there and the different ways of viewing life within the same country.
So our module group went to Meghalaya, which is a state in northeastern India, and we were able to learn about the area economically, politically, and culturally, and just observe it through any lens we desired.
For Moni and I, we were both born and raised in Latin American countries where patriarchal systems are the way the society is ruled.
However, in Meghalaya, there's a matrilineal society, and we thought this was really interesting and wanted to investigate and observe how this system of society is different to the one that we have back at home. So me personally, I decided to conduct an anthropological study in which, very short, obviously not like a real one that's like 5 years long, but I decided to look at the area through like anthropology and stuff and see how women live their life there and how, just basically what matrilineal society means. And I learned that, okay, basically the tribe that lives in Meghalaya is the Khasi tribe, and when it's a matrilineal society, it means that descent is passed down the female line. So children get their mother's last names, land laws are passed down to the youngest daughter, stuff like that. So one clear example I saw of just women having a higher role in society in Meghalaya was that, for example, cultural landmarks are named after women, and women have a place in folk stories and just the culture in general. Y'all hear that? There we go. So yeah, this is in Nonkalitkari Falls, which in Khasi literally translates to the jump of Kalikai, which is, it sounds like a very dark story, but at the end, the woman jumps off the falls, which is why it's named after her. I have the detail and more, I have the story in more detail in my booklet that I printed out for India. I don't have it here with me, but if you want to see it, Richie, and I can show it to you. But basically, I saw how the fact that women are in folk culture and how they're part of, the history is relevant and different to my society back at home, because back at home, folk stories are based around males and women have little to no role in them. So I just thought it was a significant difference to note and to see how being matrilineal does have an effect on the society as a whole and their history. However, it is important to recognize that matrilineality does not translate to matriarchal, because matriarchal means that the woman is superior to the man, or that it has more power over the man, which is not the case. We both agreed that in Meghalaya, both women and men have an equal role in society, where they're given importance and respect for each of their roles, and just they're all both appreciated and given equal recognition. So my product was a picture book or like a little booklet that has all the text from my findings, which again, you can reach me to see it later. And much better than a different project.
Yeah, so for my project, I did a video that compared the way a Latin American girl views the world because of the way she was grown up. And it's a comparison between a Megalian girl who grew up being someone with recognition in her community. So let me just explain it first. In the video, you're going to see scenes that are colored and then other scenes that are black and white. The black and white is the Latin American and the colored is the Megalian girl. Okay, so I hope you enjoy it.
The warmth disappeared, and the light became brighter. She pressed you slowly towards her chest. You must have been the world's newest guest. She smiled while wrapping your body with her arms, much more tighter.
Wake up. Stand up. Brush. Apply. Dress up.
Nice smile. You've got the right style.
Wake up.
Stand up.
Shoes on.
Go out. Step out and rise to the pile.
As a child, you dream of flying with the wind.
But you realized your flight was ignored by others. Even Dad thought your wings were different than your brother's. So you logged your wish somewhere no one can find. You, on the other hand, were taught to harvest and work together. You held that white feather proud while reading the weather. Without you, the balance would disappear from this land. The thought of running after a title, after a name, after the wings that once were vital, lead you to say goodbye to your home and hello to the new you. The past was left outside without a single tiny clue. For you, home had a different definition. You are the daughter of the youngest and her youngest.
You're the new owner of these four walls, which kept you warm for the longest.
You're immersed into the perfect picture of your new frame, where your luminosity is only perceived when your forehead is soaked with perspiration, where your thirst to be exemplary shapes your dedication, your approbation, your self-valuation, and when it's too late, you already belong in the foolish, I am greater game seeking for appreciation.
And you still sleep in the room, in the house, in the village, in the valley. At the bottom of the infinite stairway, you walk among your family's story. For years your hands toil the land, your spirit guards the jungle's glory. And without your unique abilities, even he knows how unbalanced everything can be here, your territory. Awareness, the thoughts in
now is the right time. Thank you, that was very lovely. Okay, now I have a little bit of a request for you. If you guys remember, I've handed you guys this book note, the bookmark that at the entrance. If you guys can take it out. If you don't have it, please see the person next to you. If both the people next to you don't have it, turn around or swipe to the front. And next, can you please take out your phone? When you have your phone, please scan the code on the bookmark, because now it is time for very, very extraordinary project. Look at that. Think. Now think bigger. How can you create a project to allow the voices in your community to be heard? Make an impact to your community and your country, but at the same time publish an amazingly appealing and organized book. How can you all do that? Well, I'll leave that questions for Daria Mishamshia from Afghanistan, our CN1 girl. Please come. Please welcome.
Excited? Yes! Because I'm excited. I don't know about you guys. So I'm Shamsia Daryabi and I'm from Afghanistan. So today I'm going to guide you through my mastery / my service projects that I've been doing since 1.5 years, and it has been a very big project. Yeah. So right now my family is you guys, and I love you and where I feel connected. This is you that I care about. But beside this, I have, like every one of you, I have families back home that I love and feel connected with, and I care about them. And go back to the slide. To the first slide. Thank you. These are the people and some of those people in my community that I really love, and I always get inspired by these people, and while I'm talking to them or always like going and see them. But most of all, when you guys hear about Afghanistan and social media, it just pops out in everybody's mind, and you guys see that social media misrepresenting Afghanistan and also these people in many different ways. Social media always talks about social media always comes up with the headlines of bomb attacks and terrors and all those things that tell us about Afghanistan, but they never talks about how incredible people there are and how people and good things that are happening back home. So today I'm going to talk about today I'm going to talk about how today I'm going to talk about, yes, of course, that 40 decades of war affected people in many different ways, and there's no doubt that social media is being right on that, but, and I agree that 40 decades of war affected a lot on safety issues, lack of social / work opportunities for people, and social powerlessness. So how this works?
when you don't feel secure going out for a job, so probably you're gonna end up not going for that job. So you're gonna miss that opportunity to go out there, to use that opportunity to work and get benefits out of it. And then when this is get to a bigger scale problem in the community, so you feel that you cannot solve this because this is such a big issue of security and you don't feel secure, other person does not feel secure, so you might feel in fear of dying in a bomb attack or in a shoot or something that is happening back home, which is a really big issue. Can you go back to the second slide, please? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Can you go to the second slide, please? In addition, these issues affected many people in my community. It also affected me. So, from my own experience growing up in a very conservative society, from a very long time, I accepted to not speak about all about these issues. Because to protect my family, my community, yet tolerate the violence and humiliations, and still move on with my life. It took a very long time for me to reflect and understand and go back to all my experiences, to understand the experiences that I had from back home, like a bomb attack that happened and took away some of my friends. This is horrible, and I wish nobody go through it. For me, accepting all of this was really hard, and I never talked about it. When I come to TGS, I did not speak to anybody because about what was happening back home, about my friends, about my family, because I felt I did not have a voice. If I had that voice inside me, it was not that confident. I did not want to talk about it to anybody because I was afraid of sharing because I thought other people might judge me and get the wrong impressions about Afghanistan, about myself, about my families, that all it is Afghanistan is war and like fight and violence. And I did not want that because I knew that there is so much good that must be presented. Most importantly, I felt those issues that was happening back home and those big events, I thought personal issues. I thought I can just solve it by myself and it's just something that is happening within Afghanistan bubble or the small community that I have back home. So I thought sharing it with TGS, sharing it with outsider might not help me to solve the issues and they might not be able to understand it either. But in reality, I went through every and each event and experience of my life a gazillion times. Way more times than I'm thinking, but still I couldn't do anything. But anyway, with lots of stress, disappointment, sorrows, and tears along the way, I opened up myself to others and shared my experience of being in a very unpredictable place where you don't know what's going to happen next. Talking and speaking to other people made me to realize that this is something happening and I should stop going back to it and thinking too much about it. Talking to people, they asked me questions about it, so I realized more of the events. It made me to research back all the history, research what is just going on now, and find out the roots. So, I knew that this was really hard for me, and it was really difficult for me, and for sure this was difficult for many other thousands of people that were living back home. For me, it was really hard to bring that voice and be confident talking about it. So I'm sure that talking about this stuff also would be hard for many other students and young people that were back home. In that regard, I asked myself the questions of, how can I raise awareness of issues in my city and give voice to people affected by it? And then when I went back home, after very long observations, brainstorming ideas, talking to local people, to experts, and to educators to figure out what I actually can do to kind of give that voice and confidence to some people, at least to people that I could feel like they're having going through the same thing. While I was doing my research, I was really inspired by stories that I heard from people, by how much I got connected to them. They would never talk about it unless I asked them. So I decided to, after talking to my experts and the schools, I decided to create a collaborative opportunities for middle and high school students to creatively reflect and write about their experiences and issues in the community. So then I, with my team that I built up along the way, created and produced a book. We published a book, and we hope that this book bring awareness of issues and also appreciate youth literacy voice, and also give confidence and the ability to other students who have been writing these stories to actually share what they have been going through. Besides this projects, I also hope to learn more about the communications, about leadership, and how to communicate actually within my community. Because it's very different. Being here, being back home is completely different, and it seems like two different worlds. So I needed, in order to do something in my community, I need to build that skills. So when I started this project, it was a very basic thought. It was just collecting some short stories that kind of giving the confidence to students. We started from writing on a piece of paper, and then we drafted to typing, and then to other process. And as you can see in this slideshow, it just showed different process. We got the first draft, got edited, and then got feedback from so many people that was outside of Afghanistan. And then we started drawing some of the scenarios for the book. And then still, in order to get that professional work, we reached out to many other people outside of Afghanistan. One of those was Ibtihaj. She was an artist from Oman. Even though I didn't meet her in person, but still she helped me out a lot with drawings and giving us feedback. And then through that, we put the first draft of the book, and then we designed the cover book through many different processes and reaching out to many different publications. Actually, we got the first draft in a Persian version. But then I thought, so this is something that I achieved in my local community. So I have this Persian book, and I can give it to people in my community. So what could I do to give to other people that I'm here with TGS, and they have been supporting me through these projects? I decided to translate this book into English, but I couldn't do it by myself either. So I talked to other people, and they also introduced more people who could join these projects and support translating while working with us throughout the process. So we translated the book into English, and now you guys have the bookmark, I guess. So here, this is a very short description of one of those stories, like part of it, and then here is the QR code, which you can scan it and go through, and it's linked to a PDF, and then you can just read some of the stories if you're interested in. So these were the team that I was working with, and the people who actually really taught me throughout the process. These are the experts and the students who have been also learning and growing from the experiences. It was such a great pleasure working with these people, because I just did not learn to work with them, but I also improved so many skills. Meanwhile, they teach me so much that I did not expect it of learning. So yeah, TGS, thank you for proofreading and editing some of the stories, Adnan, Rowena, and Sam. And also thank you to the school for actually believing in these projects, because when I first started, I thought, I cannot do this. So the main point of this project is about the community, about how you can collaborate within the community, and how you could go out there to help out many people, even though when sometimes you feel like, and you doubt yourself that you cannot do anything. For me, I started from myself, and I started speaking to myself, finding that voice, and then went to my community and helped other people throughout the process, I learned about myself, I learned about my community, I learned about so many things in the world. Meanwhile, I built that connections with the community, different communities, team building and collaborations. And these are the skills that came along with my service projects, and also me be willing to go out there and help out the people. So now, I'm encouraging all of you, because in this world there are so much problems that we can solve. I encourage you to go back to your own communities, and even not starting a project, still you can contribute to little ones that is already existing, and you can help other people to a kind of building the projects that actually help in the communities. For me, this book means a lot, because in here there are stories that really touch your heart, and there are stories that the students have been writing one word and cried for 20 minutes, but then wrote the rest of the stories. I'm proud of all the students who have been reading this, and I'm proud of my teams that have been working with me. I believe in this because I feel like this can change many lives in my community, and it actually did. It did change my life. It did change some students that I talked to and went through all of this. And I hope you also read this book and get something from it, and also help other people to actually believe in their projects and do something better in the world. So I'm gonna leave you with one video of the students that I interviewed, and there are also more videos and more writings and reflections that if you like to, I can share it with you. But yeah, thank you so much, and yeah, enjoy the video.
دو تا از داستان‌های اینجا هست، یکی شما که مثل ما نیستید، یکی دیگه که دختر بودن چه حسی دارم. خب من کلا داستانا رو حالا نه بر اساس یک چیز فکری، بر اساس واقعیت نوشته کردم. که مثلا در جامعه چه چیزی واقعی هست. مثلا بیشتر دوست دارم واقعیت مردم ببینن، نه مثلا یک تصور ذهنی را از یک چیز ببینن. مثلا این که من می‌نویسم که دختر بودن چه حسی داره، واقعا دخترای افغانستان حس میکنن چه حسی داره، یا مثلا خب من واقعا نمیتونم حس کنم، بگم خیلی حس خوبیه که مثلا بعدم داستان خودش ببینه یک جایی، مثلا یک کتابی را که بخونن، هم یک کتابی که بتونن همه رو بخونن، خیلی حس خوبیه. مثلا داستان نوشتن از خواهرمان رو گرفتم، بعد هیچ وقت باور نمی‌کردم که بتونم داستانی بنویسم که یک جای چاپ شه. بعد به خودم افتخار میکنم که مثلا بقیه مثلا دخترها تانستن همچین کتابی رو بسازن. خیلی حس خوبیه برای نه تنها من، که مثلا دیدم بقیه هم تانستن، دخترهای مکتب ما تانستن همچین کاری رو بکنن. مطمئنم اگه هر کسی دیگه هم بود به ما افتخار میکرد به خاطر همچین کتابی.
During our first term in Wakanda, Botswana. Can I get Wakanda forever? During our first term in Botswana, we had to create short stories around conservation and stewardship. Bella included a song in her story. You're about to witness a CM2 historical event that was brought to you guys especially from Botswana. Please give it up to Bella and her legendary Lonely Hippo.
Hi everyone, so I'm Bella and I made my story in Botswana, which is about a lonely hippo named Bangwe. One summer afternoon in July, when Botswana's dry season had just begun, hundreds of creatures gathered to the delta, all baking under the African sun. They came from all over the country to quench their undying thirst, regardless of species, age, or size, into the great river they immersed. And as they came to both sides of the delta, gulping the water below, they failed to notice one other creature, whose face he didn't like to show. This animal's name was Bangwe, and he was a very lonely hippo. All the other animals were intimidated of him because of his humongous size and his large shed of teeth. But what the other animals didn't realize was that although Bangwe seemed big and scary on the outside, on the inside, he had a heart just as big as he was. Every day he would wake up and make sure that the other animals had fresh water to drink. But still, no one noticed, and Bangwe would often spend his days hiding alone underwater. One day, Bangwe heard a strange noise up above. He looked and couldn't believe his eyes. What in the world? What kind of creature is that? Before him was standing an ape-like looking creature, walking on two legs with hair only growing on the top of his head. Bangwe thought it looked quite ugly indeed. Then, a thought popped into his head. He remembered hearing about these strange ape-like creatures when he overheard giraffes gossiping at the riverbank. Apparently, these creatures were called humans, and they like to walk around taking pictures of other animals. So, Bangwe, thinking it was the polite thing to do, said, "Hello," and opened his big jaws to flash a big smile for a pose. Ah! The human shrieked and ran away as fast as he could. How rude, Bangwe thought. Later that night, Bangwe thought about his encounter with the human. Maybe I'm just not likable. I'm just disgusting and awful to look at, and that's why I don't have any friends. Why couldn't I be beautiful, like a leopard? Or strong and magnificent like a lion? Or even smart, like an elephant? Why, I'm better off leaving. No one would notice anyways. Because Bangwe felt so awful, he finally decided it would be better if he left and moved someplace else where no other soul would have to see him again. After Bangwe left, disastrous effects were occurring in the delta. Because there was no one left to make new waterways, the old ones soon became clogged up, and animals no longer had water to drink. After time, water became scarce and animals started fighting. Chaos erupted in the watering hole. Soon, hundreds of animals died because of thirst and desperation. The only survivor was a single oxpecker named Pele. Pele decided the only solution to the problem was to convince Bangwe to come back. Pele searched far and wide when finally she found him. Pele flew out from the sky and, still panting, said, "Bangwe, it's such a relief to finally see you again. I've searched the entire African savannah for you. Where have you been?" Bangwe, shocked, responded, "Why, I've been here all this time. I didn't want to disgust anyone else with my horrible face." Pele, shocked, responded, "But you must come back. Since you left, all the other animals had died because of thirst." I'm so sorry. Since you've left, all the other waterways have become blocked, and animals have started fighting over whatever water is left. It's a catastrophe. Bangwe, shocked, responded, "But I don't understand. Surely this all couldn't have happened just because I left. Why, I just end up ruining everything, don't I?" Pella looked at him and shook his head and said, Bongwei, you may not realize this, but you're an extremely important part of our ecosystem. We are all interconnected in what we call the circle of life, and without you, or anyone else for that matter, that eternal balance would cease to exist. So never feel like you don't belong, Bongwei, because you do. You belong here. Right then, something sparked inside Bongwei's heart. All his life, he felt like he never belonged, and just those 3 words from Pella's mouth washed away all his worries and doubts. Just because he wasn't beautiful like a leopard, or strong and magnificent like a lion, or even smart like an elephant, that didn't make him less of who he was. In the end, Bongwei realized that everyone plays an important part in the ecosystem. And that is why we have to respect all creatures, big and small. Some people say that if you go to the Delta now, you can see Bongwei, with Pella happily perched on top of his head. Some people say that